What if I told you that the very foods you love, the ones you crave, the ones you've eaten your entire life, could be silently destroying your body? What if I told you that every bite, every sip, every indulgence could be leading you closer to a life of pain, medication, and irreversible damage? Diabetes doesn't strike suddenly. It doesn't announce itself with dramatic symptoms, at least not at first. It lurks in the shadows, waiting. And before you even realize it, it takes hold of your body, your health, your freedom. And the worst part? The foods making it worse are often disguised as harmless, even healthy. But today, we expose the truth. We uncover the foods diabetics should avoid at all costs. Foods that spike your blood sugar, damage your organs, and push you toward complications like blindness, nerve damage, and even amputation. This isn't fear-mongering. This is reality. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to eliminate from your diet before it's too late. Let's begin. When people think of diabetes, they think of sugar. They think of candy bars, ice cream, and spoonfuls of white granules dissolving into their morning coffee. They picture syrupy sodas and decadent desserts, obvious culprits in the battle against blood sugar. But what if I told you that sugar is hiding in places you'd never expect? What if I told you that some of the most common foods, the ones sitting in your kitchen right now, could be silently sabotaging your health? They don't taste overly sweet. They don't look like desserts. But inside your body, they might as well be spoonfuls of sugar. And the worst part? Many of them are labeled as healthy, wholesome, and even necessary for a balanced diet. Let's start with the number one offender. 1. White bread, pasta, and rice, the silent blood sugar triggers. Imagine this. You sit down for dinner. A steaming plate of spaghetti, glistening with sauce. A slice of warm bread, fresh from the oven. Or maybe just a simple side of fluffy white rice, served alongside your meal. You eat. You feel satisfied, comforted. You tell yourself, this is normal food, harmless. But inside your body, a storm is brewing. These foods, white bread, pasta, and rice, are made from refined carbohydrates. And here's what that means. The moment they hit your stomach, they transform, almost instantly, into sugar. Your body doesn't see them as grains or starches. It sees them as pure glucose. And glucose? That's the very substance diabetics struggle to control. Your blood sugar spikes, fast, hard, and dangerously high. Your pancreas scrambles to keep up, flooding your bloodstream with insulin, the hormone responsible for moving sugar into your cells. But if you have diabetes, or even pre-diabetes, that insulin doesn't work as well as it should. So what happens next? Your cells reject the sugar. Your blood sugar stays elevated. And over time, your body becomes resistant to insulin, the very hormone that keeps you alive. And then comes the crash. The energy high fades. You feel tired, hungry. Your body craves more sugar, more carbs, more of the very foods that caused the spike in the first place. So you eat again, and every cycle makes the problem worse. White bread, pasta, and rice may seem harmless, but for someone with diabetes, they are ticking time bombs. Silent, destructive, and devastating. And yet, they're not the only ones. Because sometimes, sugar comes in disguise. It wears a mask, hiding behind labels like natural, organic, and healthy. Which brings us to number 2. Fruit juices and healthy smoothies, a sweet trap. You're in the grocery store. You walk down the beverage aisle. You see bottles labeled 100% natural. No added sugar. Made from real fruit. You pick one up, read the ingredients. There's no high fructose corn syrup. No artificial flavors. Just pure fruit. You think, this must be healthy. You pour yourself a glass, take a sip. It's sweet, refreshing, packed with vitamins. But here's what no one tells you. That glass of juice, it contains just as much sugar as a can of soda. And in some cases, even more. How? Because when fruit is turned into juice, it loses something critical, fiber. Whole fruits, apples, oranges, berries, contain natural sugars, yes. But they also come with fiber, which slows down how fast sugar enters your bloodstream. Juicing strips that fiber away. What's left? Liquid sugar. And without fiber to slow absorption, that sugar rushes straight into your blood, causing massive spikes in glucose levels. Your pancreas struggles. Your insulin spikes. And just like with white bread and pasta, your blood sugar crashes hard, leaving you tired, hungry, and craving more sugar. The cycle repeats. again and again, and it gets even worse. Because these so-called healthy drinks don't just come in bottles labeled as juice. They're in your morning smoothie. You've seen the trendy health cafes, the green smoothies, the acai bowls, the drinks blended with bananas, mangoes, honey, and dates. They look nutritious. They sound clean. They feel wholesome. But inside that cup, a diabetes time bomb. Because even though those fruits contain vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, their sugar content far outweighs the benefits when consumed in liquid form. Think about it. Would you sit down and eat 3 oranges in one sitting? Probably not. But when you drink a glass of orange juice, that's exactly what you're doing. Except you're getting all the sugar without the fiber to slow it down. Would you eat a whole mango, a banana, a cup of berries, and a drizzle of honey in one meal? Probably not. But when you drink a smoothie made from those ingredients, that's exactly what you're consuming. And your blood sugar pays the price. So what's the alternative? If you're craving fruit, eat it whole. Keep the fiber. Keep the nutrients. Let your body process it the way nature intended. Because when you remove the fiber, you're left with nothing but sugar. And for someone with diabetes, sugar is the one thing you can't afford to gamble with. These foods, white bread, pasta, rice, fruit juices, and smoothies, are not just innocent cravings. They are silent saboteurs. They don't come with warning labels. They don't look dangerous. But inside your body, they wreak havoc. Every spike, every crash, every craving is pushing your body closer to insulin resistance. And insulin resistance? That's the first step toward complications that can change your life forever. Diabetes is not just about managing sugar. It's about controlling the unseen forces that dictate how your body functions. And it all starts with what you put on your plate. Because the foods you eat today, they don't just affect your blood sugar in the moment. They shape your future, your energy, your health, and ultimately, your life. Choose wisely, because the wrong choice, it could cost you everything. Sugar isn't the only villain here. Yes, sugar is dangerous. It wreaks havoc on your blood sugar, pushes you closer to insulin resistance, and traps you in a vicious cycle of cravings and crashes. But what if I told you that there's another category of food that's just as deadly, perhaps even worse? A category that silently inflames your body, clogs your arteries, and slowly poisons you from the inside out. The foods in this category don't always taste sweet. They don't spike your blood sugar in obvious ways, but their effects? Devastating. They can trigger dangerous inflammation in your organs. They can disrupt your metabolism, making it harder for your body to process sugar at all. And for people with diabetes, these foods can cut years off your life. The worst part? They're everywhere. From fast food menus to your own kitchen, these deadly foods have been disguised as everyday meals. And millions of people consume them every single day without realizing the damage they're doing. Let's start with one of the most irresistible yet destructive foods of all. Number 3. Fried foods, a double threat. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture a plate of golden, crispy French fries, fresh out of the fryer, glistening with oil, sprinkled with salt. Or maybe it's a crispy piece of fried chicken, the kind that crunches when you bite into it, releasing a rush of juicy, savory flavor. Or a hot, fluffy donut, coated in sugar, soft in the center, melting in your mouth. Now ask yourself, what is that food doing inside your body? The answer? Something far more dangerous than you'd expect. Fried foods are a double threat, a lethal combination of unhealthy fats and refined carbohydrates. Let's break it down. First, the fat. When food is fried, it soaks up trans fats and oxidized oils, some of the most toxic substances for your body. These fats don't just clog your arteries. They make your body resistant to insulin, meaning the sugar in your blood stays dangerously high for longer than it should. Over time, this leads to worsening diabetes, nerve damage, and even organ failure. And that's not even the worst part. Because the carbohydrates in fried foods, especially breaded and battered items, are usually made from white flour, another blood sugar disaster. That means when you bite into that fried chicken, you're getting a double dose of destruction. Refined carbs that turn to sugar, plus toxic fats that prevent your body from dealing with that sugar properly. The result? Blood sugar spikes, arteries clogged, inflammation everywhere. And for diabetics, inflammation is deadly. It's one of the biggest drivers of heart disease, the leading cause of death for diabetics worldwide. Yes, that's right. Not sugar, Not diabetes itself, but heart disease. And fried foods? They bring you one step closer to it. Every time you indulge. That side of fries, that crispy onion ring, that late-night drive-through order. Each bite, a small step toward disaster. And yet, fried food isn't even the worst offender. Because there's another type of food that's just as deadly, one that people eat every single day without a second thought. And it's hiding in plain sight. Number 4. Processed meats, the slow poison. You walk into a grocery store. You head to the deli section. You grab a pack of bacon, maybe some deli turkey for sandwiches, or a few hot dogs for a weekend barbecue. Seems harmless, right? After all, it's just protein. No sugar, no carbs, just meat. But here's what nobody tells you. That pack of bacon, that turkey, those sausages, they are filled with silent killers, additives, preservatives, and chemicals that can wreck your health faster than sugar ever could. Let's start with nitrates and nitrites, chemicals added to processed meats to preserve freshness and enhance flavor. They may keep your bacon looking pink and your hot dogs tasting smoky, but inside your body, they trigger dangerous inflammation, the same kind of inflammation that leads to insulin resistance, diabetes complications, and even cancer. Yes, cancer. Studies have shown that people who eat processed meats regularly are at a significantly higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes, even if they're not overweight. Let that sink in. Even if you're not overweight, even if you exercise regularly, even if you're doing everything else right, if you're eating processed meats, you're still increasing your risk of diabetes. Because the damage isn't just about calories or sugar. It's about how these foods change your body from the inside out. Processed meats inflame your blood vessels, making it harder for your body to move sugar where it needs to go. They disrupt your metabolism, making it easier to gain weight, even if you're eating the same amount of food as before. And they increase your risk of heart disease, which, as we've already learned, is the #1 killer of diabetics. So ask yourself, is that bacon worth it? Is that ham sandwich really harmless? Because processed meats don't just shorten your life. They steal your quality of life, one bite at a time. Fried foods, processed meats, they seem so normal, so everyday. But their effects? They are slow, silent, and deadly. For diabetics, food is not just about taste. It's about survival. Because every meal is a choice. A choice between healing or harm. Between energy or exhaustion. Between thriving or barely surviving. The foods you eat today, they shape your health tomorrow. And the wrong choices? They don't just lead to diabetes. They lead to heart failure, nerve damage, kidney disease, blindness, amputations. It starts small. A side of fries, a strip of bacon, a weekend indulgence. But over time, it adds up. And before you know it, the damage is done. But here's the good news. You have the power to change. To choose foods that heal instead of harm. To protect your body instead of sabotaging it. Because diabetes doesn't wait. It doesn't forgive. But you still have time. Time to take control. Time to fight back. And it all starts with what's on your plate. Choose wisely. Because your life depends on it. You think about what you eat. You know sugar is bad. You know processed foods are dangerous. But what about what you drink? Most people don't think twice before taking a sip. A can of soda. A flavored coffee. An energy drink to get through the day. A glass of wine to unwind at night. It feels harmless. But what if I told you that some of the worst diabetes-triggering substances aren't even foods? They're liquids. And because they digest faster than solid food, they wreak instant havoc on your blood sugar. One sip, that's all it takes for a spike. And that spike? It sets off a chain reaction, a roller coaster of highs and crashes that wears down your body, drains your energy, and increases your risk of complications. What's worse? Some of these drinks are disguised as harmless or even healthy. But inside your body, they act like poison. Let's start with one of the biggest hidden threats, something millions of people drink every single day without realizing the damage. Number 5. Sugary coffee drinks, the hidden dessert in your cup. Morning coffee. For many, it's the first thing they reach for. The ritual that starts the day. The boost that wakes them up. But what happens when that simple cup of coffee becomes something else? A flavored latte. A caramel macchiato. A frappuccino with extra whipped cream. It looks like coffee, but inside, it's a sugar bomb. Take a pumpkin spice latte, for example. 1 cup, over 50 grams of sugar. That's more sugar than an entire can of soda. That's more sugar than a slice of cake. That's more sugar than an entire day's worth for someone without diabetes. For diabetics, it's a disaster waiting to happen. Because that sugar, it doesn't just spike your blood sugar, it stays in your bloodstream, keeping your body in a state of chaos. And it doesn't stop there. Flavored creamers, syrups, whipped toppings, even sugar-free alternatives filled with artificial sweeteners that trick your body into craving more. It's not just coffee anymore. It's dessert in disguise. And the damage? It adds up. A sugary coffee today, another tomorrow. A habit that seems small until you realize it's pushing you closer to insulin resistance, closer to complications, closer to the point of no return. So ask yourself, is that caramel macchiato worth it? Because your blood sugar doesn't lie. Number 6. Alcohol, the deceptive danger. Alcohol. For many, it's a way to relax. A glass of wine after work, a cocktail with friends, a drink to take the edge off. But for diabetics, alcohol is more dangerous than you think. Why? Because alcohol doesn't just spike your blood sugar. It does something far worse. It damages the one organ responsible for regulating it. The silent war on your liver. Your liver plays a crucial role in keeping your blood sugar stable. It acts as a glucose storage tank, releasing sugar when you need energy and pulling it back when you don't. But alcohol, it hijacks that system. Because when you drink, your liver isn't focused on blood sugar regulation anymore. It's too busy detoxifying the alcohol, breaking it down, processing it, trying to clear it from your bloodstream before it poisons you. And that means your body loses control of your blood sugar. Sometimes it drops too low, leading to dizziness, weakness, even fainting. Other times, it surges too high, causing inflammation, insulin resistance, and long-term damage. And the more you drink, the worse it gets. Your liver struggles. Your metabolism slows. Your body loses its ability to regulate glucose at all. And suddenly, your diabetes becomes harder to control than ever before. The hidden dangers of healthier alcohol. Some people think certain alcohols are safer. Wine has antioxidants. Beer is natural. Liquor doesn't have carbs. But here's the truth. All alcohol is harmful for diabetics. Wine? Still filled with sugar. Beer? Packed with carbs that break down into glucose. Hard liquor? May not contain sugar, but forces your liver into overdrive, leading to unpredictable blood sugar swings. And mixed drinks? Forget it. A margarita, a piña colada, a rum and coke. Some of these drinks contain even more sugar than soda, turning them into a blood sugar nightmare. The long-term consequences. For diabetics, drinking isn't just about tonight's blood sugar levels. It's about what happens over time. Because the more you drink, the weaker your liver becomes. The harder it is to manage your diabetes. The greater your risk of complications, from nerve damage to heart disease to kidney failure. And the scariest part? Alcohol dulls your awareness of symptoms. A blood sugar crash? You might not feel it. A slow creeping rise? You might not notice. Until it's too late. Diabetes is a battle. And the battlefield? It's not just in your diet. It's in your drinks. That morning latte. That evening cocktail. That energy drink to get through the afternoon. Each sip is a choice. A choice between control or chaos. A choice between health or harm. Because for diabetics, there is no such thing as a harmless drink. Every liquid you consume either helps you or hurts you. There's no in-between. So the question is, what are you drinking? And more importantly, what is it doing to your body? Every meal is a choice. A choice between health or disease. Between control or chaos. Between a life where you feel strong, energized, and in control, or a life where you're trapped by your own body, constantly battling the consequences of every bite. For diabetics, there is no middle ground. Each bite, each sip, each craving, it all adds up. And the foods we've talked about today, they're more than just numbers on a nutrition label. They are the difference between thriving and barely surviving. The hidden cost of every bite. You don't see it happening. Not at first. One soda, one sugary coffee, one innocent sandwich made with soft white bread. It feels small, insignificant, but inside your body, a war is being waged. Your blood sugar surges. Your pancreas struggles. Your cells resist the insulin meant to save them. And before you know it, you're trapped. A cycle of crashes, cravings, and silent damage that worsens with every passing day. You wake up feeling tired, heavy, drained, but you don't know why. Your body starts sending warning signs. A little numbness in your fingers, a wound that takes longer to heal, a fogginess in your mind that you can't quite shake. At first, you ignore it. But then, the doctor's visits start. The prescriptions pile up. And suddenly, the thing you thought you had under control has control over you. And you wonder, how did it get this bad? The answer? It started with what you ate. Diabetes doesn't wait. And it doesn't forgive. The truth is painful, but it's simple. Diabetes is not patient. Diabetes is not forgiving. Diabetes doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care if you were too busy to cook. It doesn't care if you were just craving something sweet. It doesn't care if just this once turned into every single day. Because while you're making excuses, diabetes is making permanent changes inside your body. And one day, you'll wake up and realize the choice you had is gone. But here's the good news. Right now, at this moment, you still have power. You still have a choice. What will you choose? So the next time you reach for that white bread, that fruit juice, that crispy fried indulgence, ask yourself, is it worth it? Is this bite worth the exhaustion, the nerve damage, the hospital visits, the years stolen from your life? Is that moment of sweetness on your tongue worth the decades of struggle that follow? Because the truth is, diabetes doesn't control you. You control diabetes. And it starts right now. Not tomorrow. Not after the holidays. Not once things calm down. Now. Because what you eat today shapes your future. This is not about fear. This is about power. Because knowledge is power. And choice is power. And right now, you have both. So what will you do with it? Will you ignore it? Let it fade? Keep eating the way you always have? Or will you take back control? Because your best life, the one where you feel healthy, strong, and free, is not out of reach. It's right in front of you. And it starts with a choice. If you found this video eye-opening, if you want more content that uncovers the hidden dangers in everyday life and reveals the secrets to thriving, then don't stop here. Hit that subscribe button now, like for more health-friendly tips, and turn on notification so you never miss out on new health tips content. Join us on this journey of transformation. Because here, we don't just talk about problems, we uncover solutions.